Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today we have to talk about something that has set tongues wagging and eyebrows raising across South Africa. Higher Education Deputy Minister Buti Manamela has appointed several ANC cadres, some of whom are linked to corruption scandals involving nearly R800 million, as administrators for the Sector Education and Training Authority, or SETA. Yes, you heard that correctly. Individuals implicated in one of the country's biggest corruption sagas are now being asked to oversee institutions that handle large sums of money, manage training programs, and shape the skills of South Africa's future workforce. If this sounds like putting the fox in charge of the hen house, well, many South Africans are thinking the same thing. Now, before we dive into the outrage, let's quickly remind ourselves what SETAs actually do. These bodies are supposed to be the engines of skills development in our country. They work with different industries to ensure workers, especially young people, are trained and equipped for the jobs South Africa desperately needs. Think about it: plumbers, electricians, coders, welders, and other vital professions rely on SETA programs. In short, they are central to fighting unemployment and building an economy that actually functions. Which is why this story is so troubling. If you take an institution like SETA, which already faces criticism for inefficiency and mismanagement, and then hand it over to people linked to corruption allegations, what kind of message are you sending? To ordinary South Africans, it looks like another chapter in the same old book of Cadre deployment, where political loyalty matters more than competence or integrity. The R800 million corruption case tied to these individuals is no small matter. This was not a case of missing stationery or inflated catering costs. We are talking about public money that should have gone into development, skills training, and education, money that could have given thousands of young people a chance at employment. Instead, it vanished into the dark hole of alleged graft and self-enrichment. And yet, despite all of this, some of the very people linked to that scandal are being trusted with fresh authority. Critics are asking the obvious question: why? Why would Minister Manamela, who knows how sensitive the issue of corruption is in South Africa, push ahead with such appointments? Is it a case of recycling comrades because the ANC refuses to bring in fresh, untainted faces? Or does the party believe that these individuals still have something useful to contribute, despite their reputations? To be fair, supporters of the decision argue that being implicated is not the same as being found guilty. They point out that due process matters, and that these people should not be cast aside until proven guilty in court. But let's be real for a moment: when your name is tied to a scandal worth hundreds of millions, and you are given control over another part of public money, trust becomes a very fragile thing. And without trust, institutions like SETA cannot function properly. This story also taps into a much bigger problem in South Africa: the ongoing perception that corruption is rewarded, not punished. We have seen it again and again. Someone gets accused of wrongdoing, they step aside for a while, and before long, they resurface in another cushy position, sometimes even higher than before. It is like political musical chairs, except the music never stops and the same players keep landing on the best seats. And here's where the humor comes in, because South Africans cope with these things through jokes. People have already started saying that if corruption was a formal qualification, half the cabinet would have PhDs by now. Imagine a university offering a Bachelor of Arts in Entrepreneurship, honors in kickbacks, and masters in mismanagement. It would probably be the most oversubscribed program in the country. But jokes aside, the stakes are high. SETAs manage billions of rand every year. They fund projects meant to prepare the workforce of tomorrow. If the public loses confidence in their ability to deliver, the entire skills pipeline collapses. That means fewer young people trained, more unemployment, and an even heavier burden on a struggling economy. And we cannot ignore the politics of this. Cadre deployment has been a lightning rod for criticism of the ANC. Opponents argue that it puts loyalty to the party above loyalty to the country. This case fits neatly into that narrative. Comrades are looked after, no matter what they are accused of. And ordinary citizens are left wondering whether merit and honesty still mean anything in government appointments. Some commentators say this reflects a deeper culture within the ANC, where connections matter more than competence, and where accountability takes a backseat to political survival. That culture, they argue, is precisely why South Africa struggles to make progress on corruption. Institutions are only as strong as the people who run them, and if those people have questionable track records, the entire system weakens. Now, let's play devil's advocate for a moment. Could there be a scenario where these individuals, despite their past controversies, genuinely perform well in their new roles? Could it be that they are trying to redeem themselves, to prove that they can contribute positively? Possibly. But the problem is that their credibility is already compromised. Even if they deliver good results, public suspicion will always hang over them. And when you are running an institution like SETA, credibility is half the battle. The bottom line is this: South Africans want appointments that inspire trust, not suspicion. They want to see leaders chosen for their skills, their integrity, and their ability to serve the people. And they want to see corruption suspects kept far away from public money until they have cleared their names. That is not too much to ask in a country that has lost billions to graft. So, where does this leave Buti Manamela? Right in the middle of a storm. His decision will define how people view his leadership, and it may even shape his political future. If the SETAs under these administrators succeed, he might argue that he made a bold choice. But if they fail, or worse, if more money goes missing, he will carry the blame. And South Africa, already weary of corruption scandals, will have one more reason to lose faith in its leaders. So, let me put the question to you: do you think these appointments are an act of political recycling, or do they reflect a lack of better options within the ANC? And do you believe people implicated in corruption should ever be trusted with new positions before clearing their names? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. And as always, if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel for more political commentary, and share this video so others can join the discussion. Thanks for tuning in, and see you next time.